Decker, asked the Detroit Pistons for a raise. The Detroit Lions for a raise. And ultimately, he didn't get it. He's still on the free agent market, along with guys like Cam Jordan, Joey Bosa. I think Ken Robinson's still out there in the left tackle. And right now, Taylor Decker thought, the market was going to be hot for him. Make it hot, player. Make it hot. And did he say that? No, did he? Let's talk about your Detroit Lions Talk playlist. Thumbs up, video, share, subscribe to the channel. Could he come back? At the end of the day, it's kind of hard when, you tell the team that's been with you, they gave you raises. You tell them that, hey, man, for me to stay here, you want me to take a pay cut. Right? And I want to pay raise. But now he hit the market and he learned his worth. And his worth ain't as much as he thought it was. And, maybe he, I know he trains in Arizona in the off season. Maybe that's where he want to go. Maybe it's about winning. Who knows? But, a lot of times we have, we have an overinflation. We overinflate our worth. And a lot of people do that to a company. I remember I worked at General Motors some years ago, and this particular guy that said they can't do this without me. Well, they got rid of you, and last time I checked, that DHAM plant's still running without your bitch ass. Excuse my language. So guess what? There's always going to be a way. It's always going to be a way. Company, I done seen people, go to the upper room on the job and they scoop them up, stop the job for a couple minutes, and then they back rolling. They don't care about you. Especially, when there's a whole bunch of candidates, they don't really care. Once you see that most companies in America are inefficient in the way that they run, that will give you belief that you can start your own business. But the hardest part is just starting. You know what I'm saying? Because they give them money out there. If you want to do farmland, grants and all that stuff. And I'm going to have something for y'all for people that want to, I don't know why you blowing this horn. Who's blowing that? I don't know, people that want to talk about, want to do grants. I'm going to have something for y'all, bro. So learn how to apply for grants and all that type of stuff. And then maybe I might, have something for y'all on how to, get these loans and stuff. But, when you see how inefficient, and just look at your job, most jobs in America, look how inefficient that they run. And you telling me you couldn't run the business more efficient? Come on, let's keep it a bean. It's somebody that's above you who don't know how to do none of the jobs on the job. But back to Taylor Decker. He might come back. He might come back. It might make more sense. But in general, I still don't think that, I said this before, if they was going to keep him or they was going to give him a Manolo boot or he was going to retire. I said again and again and again, they need to address that position. They need to still draft a guy. And if you bring Decker back and kick a guy to the guard position, the future tackle isn't as tough to play as center. Center usually are line audibles. They do all the mental work and all that, slide protections and all that type of stuff. So I get it. But the left tackle is important because to a right-handed quarterback, it's on their blind side. So, I feel that, it still needs to be a priority. If Decker come back or not, you can't be putting Band-Aids over a position. You got to prepare to transition. And Brad has done that. He's prepared to transition. With Manu Giovanni, it just didn't work out. He prepared to transition with a lot of guys. He knew that DJ Reader wasn't going to be back next year. He prepared for Tyleek Williams. It's just, for the most part, that's how he prepared. So it's going to be interesting. They believe that Kirby Joseph is going to be A1 from day one. We'll see. But Decker coming back, I wouldn't rule it out. I wouldn't rule it out at all. So, but also, you got maybe he could be right. Maybe he could be waiting. Maybe he could be waiting for training camp and see if somebody go down, or he could be waiting. But but I can definitely see him coming back. But as men, we should be able to get over our differences. We can't really harp and get emotional about it. When we're young, we can, because we got to understand it's a business. It's a business. And that's what people need to understand. It's a business. It's a business. So once you understand that it's a business, you know what I'm saying? And you take the emotions out of it. And as you get older and as you go through heartbreak, you go through trials and tribulations, you go through this, that, you understand to remove the emotions out of it and get to a solution. So Decker could be back. He could play for somebody else. You know, who knows? You know, Chicago Bears fans are like, we can use him. They had, you know, the guard Joe Tooney playing left tackle, which he did a great job for a guard to play left tackle. You don't see too many guards that can, in the playoff situations, that can kick to play, you know, left tackle. You don't see that a lot. You don't see it a lot. So, you know, I mean, he could join the Bears. I mean, at the end of the day, I think if you him, as you hit the twilight of your career, there's two things that you probably possibly want. The number one thing, you want that cushion of cash. You know, you want that cushion of cash. You know that the NFL, you know, only doesn't pay lifetime benefits. You got a family, so you want that cushion of cash, and also you want to be able to win. So you want to be able to win. So those are the two things that, you know, you really want on the table. So that's what you want. But him coming back, you know, might make sense. It might not make sense. But for them, could be injury, could be like draft a guy that they really don't have. But I don't trust that dude from Miami they got to play left tackle. That Broom kid, they need a guy. They need a guy now. When you got a tackle-rich draft and you in position to get a guy, whether you got to move back or move up, that's how critical the left tackle is, especially for a quarterback that don't have a great sense of pressure and don't have great mobility. So you can't play with that. You can't play with that. You can't say, well, he's a tweener. No, you got to get a true left tackle. Yeah. Are you really a right tackle? Nah, you got to get that guy, that athletic guy that got the bare minimum. He got to be the greatest left tackle, you know what I'm saying, at run blocking. But you want him to be great at pass blocking, but not a liability in run blocking. You know? So usually more run blocking is about mentality. It's about mentality. It's about how aggressive. And pass blocking is more about athleticism, skill, arm length, feet. It's more about athleticism. You would think, well, if he got all that, he got them in. Nah. It might be a little bit tougher to really run block, especially when you got longer arms too. That might be something too. You know, but it's you know, to be to have a mauling mentality. You know, to be able to be a mauler, it's just a different ball game. It's a different ball game. But hey, appreciate y'all. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. The subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit all notifications. Increase your chance to get notifications. We go live with our video. Check out the Detroit Lions Talk playlist for more videos like this. Peace.